seeming phenomenon that takes place, at least here in Nigeria, for reasons, according to my guest research, unknown, because it's not rooted in any culture in the country. It's not rooted in any, or at least the two major religions of the country, that a man getting a woman pregnant automatically means marriage for those two individuals. Apparently, that is not. There is no law. There is no culture. There is no religion that states that. So, let's try to get to the bottom of it, have conversations around it. I'm going to allow you to give your concluding thoughts, and then I will begin to read messages, pick up phone calls and tweets as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, it is established that between the Christian and the Muslim faiths, there is no law or commandment or directive that a woman who is pregnant must marry the gentleman who got her pregnant. Now also established is that there is no culture, there is no tradition, there is no bylaw, there is no legislation or constitution or any form of directive, either by the state or by the religion or by what do we call tradition, that imposes and directs a woman compulsorily to marry the man who gets her pregnant. In fact, I went as far as calling an Ifa priest to see that whether in our traditional religion, that is our natural religion, traditional religion, whether there is anything of that sort. He said I should call him when I have something more important to say.
I'm sorry, what?
He said I should call him when I have something more important to say. That how is it, where is that is pregnancy, what Ifa will be monitoring now. So now this is where marriage by pregnancies lead to. 37% of the cases of domestic violence and abuse are caused by marriage by pregnancy. Because if you ask a lot of them, you would find that if not for the pregnancy, they would not have married the person they got married to. Do you know how it's like lying down next to a man or woman and waking up, looking at them and saying, if not for this pregnancy, I would never have married this man, or I would never have married this woman. But because they were forced, your family kicks you out, suddenly you become what? You become what is an outcast. What exactly is pregnancy? According to dictionary.com, it means having a child or offspring developing in the body. Vocabulary.com defines it as carrying a developing baby in your body. So it is simply a biological process where a baby is growing inside a mother. Yes, we are angry at our daughters for getting pregnant and so disappointed, especially when they are still young and dependent. But does that mean that you should sentence them to death? Pregnancy makes you a mother and a father, but never a husband or wife. There is no definition or explanation or interpretation of pregnancy where you see the term wife. It is always mother or father. So pregnancy simply makes you a mother or a father, not a husband or wife. Stop forcing pregnancy to mean husband and wife. Pregnancy opens the eyes after scolding them, or some can even get flogged or beaten. Let's leave them for a while and later ask for their intention. Listen, thieves get caught and sentenced to prison. After serving their time, they come out and are free. So armed robbers, kidnappers, after serving their time, they are free. Some even come out of prison with skills. Some become pastors in prison. Some become useful in prison. But someone gets pregnant and you force them to say, till death do us part. That means it is not a sentence. It is not a punishment, because a punishment has an expiry date. This is a curse that you make them die in their mistake. Some were even raped and you force them to marry their rapist just because they couldn't tell you they were raped. They are so afraid because you would ask them, what were you doing there in the first place? I have a very close pastor who stays in a detached duplex, you know, those first stack duplex that it will be split into one wing, the other wing. So the daughter got the water bill of the other the right wing. They were they were on the left wing. It got the person who dropped the bill dropped in the wrong wing, so she went, and they know themselves, so she just took that bill to the right wing to drop, and the son that they've known each other just said, okay, bring it in, you know, that one knocked and said, I have your bill, bring it in, and he shut the door and raped her. So the question someone was asking was, what was she also doing there? Couldn't she go next door to drop a bill? She didn't know she got pregnant. In fact, for 3 months, we were thinking it was typhoid, malaria. She was in and out of the hospital until the doctor said, you know what, she's not responding. She almost got killed by the dosage of medicine. It was when one doctor said, let us do everything. So they did a pregnancy test and found that she was pregnant with twins. So the father now came, it became a problem. The father was a bit calm, because the way he was boiling, I did not even want him to do anything. I exploded on his behalf, But how do you do that? Going next door to drop a bill. These are things that happen to some of these women. There was a case that we handled where the lady was in a long distance relationship with a guy who was in the US. He came back one of the times, and he was so happy to meet the guy for the very first time. They had been dating online, and then they went out. It was around 8-9 p.m. She said she had to go back, and the man said, that I'm just in Nigeria for 1 week, and you say you are going back. No, that we're going to go out, at least spend this time together. So they went clubbing, and around 1 a.m. when they got to his hotel, she was, he went to shower, and when he came out, he just came out another man, and he just held her and was trying to kiss her, and she was like, take it easy now, we just met, let's just get to know each other better. And he just held her down and just had his way forcefully. It was 1 a.m. in the morning. Had his way repeatedly with her. By 5 a.m. she got up, left, and blocked him. She only told her best friend that this guy is crazy. He raped me overnight and all that. A month and a half, she found out that she was pregnant. Her mother was the one that even looked at her and said, come, your skin is glowing. Took her to get her pregnant. That was when she knew she was pregnant. Who got you pregnant? That's how, because she's from an affluent family. Now went to the family of the guy, traced her, and went that, come, bring this boy back, or else we will get him deported by sending to the American embassy that he raped someone here. Those ones don't joke with that.
Had to marry her rapist.
Brought the guy back and then made her marry this guy. The guy was angry. The girl, under normal circumstances, would not have married this kind of, she blocked him. After she broke up with, as in that night was the last, she blocked him. The guy would call, apologize. The girl never. If you had asked her, she wouldn't have wanted to marry this guy. And the guy came back. When he was forced to marry, he was angry that they shall married. The guy started beating her. In fact, one time the guy brought his friend to spite this woman while they were married. Brought his friend also into the bedroom, and the two of them had their way with this. They just wanted to frustrate the girl to leaving. And when the girl could not take it anymore, she drank poison. She was saved, but she has a permanent disability because of the potency of the poison. Now, what was more important, the life of the daughter or the pregnancy that she got? The status of the family. 37% of cases of domestic violence and abuse, almost 40%, are from marriages by pregnancy. What will my church say? What will my family say? What will my people say? Ladies and gentlemen, I am also a single father. Someone I got pregnant for me, Barrister Olumide Kayode Omoshebi, in 2010. a lady that I broke up with because she was domestic. She was very violent. She came back 5 months later to tell me that she was pregnant for me. You know, I broke up in February. She came in July. It did not make sense. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, according to her sister, one of her people said that she wanted to make sure that, you know, I won't be able to say abort because it was 5 months and, you know, that, and she said, we must marry. I refuse. Today, when you see the boy, he's 12. Do you understand? He's my only biological child, in fact. But I refused to marry the mother because somebody would have been dead now. She would slap me at the bus stop. She would tear my clothes at parties. I broke up with her, you know, straight up because I knew that, you know, I told her that the next time I would retaliate. But I broke up and I got someone pregnant. Does that make me what? A husband automatically. You think I will be able to do what I am doing today if I had married that person that can break into the station now and tell me to get up and get out of this you know, how would I work? How would I be doing? It's because I had, let me tell you something. People will not reason with you because I stood my ground. My parents, my mother, my father, my sister, all of them wanted me to marry because I was getting older. I got married at 42. You know, they were like, I'm an only son and you must marry. And they tell you, if you know you are not going to marry, why did you do? Yes, we all make mistakes. So let he that is without sin cast the first stone. But it is not written on my forehead. Neither is it written on my son. He lives with me now. And, you know, fantastic. I'm raising him not to make the same mistakes his father made. So when you force people into marriage, because they get pregnant, you are opening the door for regret, for domestic violence and abuse, for hatred, for bitterness, especially when the person, if you had simply asked, would tell you that I don't know, he's not the kind of person that I want to marry. On the 18th of June 2018, there's Mgbodima Samuel married Gloria Onyedikaji Obina from Imo State. It had been an abusive relationship. She would break up, they would make up, she would break up because the guy beats her so all the friends, you know, did not support, and she broke up with him finally, you know, and 2 months after she broke up, she found out that she was pregnant for him. And the next thing, the family was like, they must marry. So she got married to him. He beat her to death 4 months into the marriage. And he put her corpse in his car and drove around for over 24 hours. He finally drove to his father's house in Lagos from the east and spent the night there. It was the following morning that he told his mother that his wife is in the car. And the mother said, why would you leave your wife in the, what kind of, and he was saying, you know, it's like she's not alive. She's dead. He was riding her pregnant corpse. So what would have been more important, the life of the child, when our anger has gone down, when we are over what family will say, over but when you bury your child, do you ask what others will now be saying, what the church will now be saying? Another variation to the alchemy of pregnancy are those that now say, I want to marry you, but you must get pregnant first. I have touched every religion and culture, every tradition in Nigeria that says you have to get pregnant before I marry you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no tribe or culture. I spent time on phone calls calling everybody from everywhere. There is even no traditional religious doctrine that tells you that a woman must be pregnant before you marry her. But then several people are in these kind of relationships that they will tell you that, you know, I want to marry, and the woman also wants to but you know, you must get pregnant first. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, anyone that subscribes to that, either out of desperation or because you actually like the guy just got permission to sleep with you free of charge without protection. They get you to believe that, you know, just get pregnant. So you, in the afternoon, you say, where are you going? I'm going to, you know, we are trying to get pregnant. So, you know, you are just going for sex.
Sophia.
You are just going for sex, and that is what they now. This is the funny thing. I was just made aware of a drug that some men would take so that they would be incapable of getting a woman pregnant. And then also, I found a lot of times that after the sex, they would treat you to breakfast in bed or dinner in bed or whatever and give you juice. They are always serving you with juice. 5 alive, 3 alive, 2 alive that have been laced with morning after pills. So you will never get pregnant. I have someone who has been in the relationship for 3 years trying to get pregnant. Now the gentleman is married to somebody else while she is still trying to get pregnant in Lagos. It is a lie. They just want to sleep with you by telling you they want to marry you. When you hear marriage, your ears turn. You even hold them in so that they ejaculate properly in you.
That's a little bit too graphic for morning radio on a Saturday when my young people are in the house and not in school. All right. I think that the message has been passed across.
Yes.
Move
I might be sorry. But do you realize that these women never get pregnant? And the 4 that got pregnant, because they came to us for breach of promise to marry, the guy said they should abort. That they are not very ready, and they never marry you. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? It happens in maybe 2%. There's always this thing, they never just get pregnant. Or when they do, the man now tells them to abort it. That is a very ridiculous, that is a very criminal thought. When a man tells you, listen, when you hear that, you better run. The person is just looking for a license to sleep with you anyhow. You travel all the way down just so that you get pregnant. What does that mean? Isn't that a rump of sexual marathon? I must get pregnant before you see them praying. Father, put their hand on the tummy. Conceive. So it is terrible because they just want to marry and because they've been promised marriage only if they can get. There is not culture or tradition. Can you imagine, somebody coming to, if there was a culture or tradition, you go to the chief and say, yes, I want to marry your wife, so, your daughter. So, your daughter will have to come to my house. A father sitting down and saying, okay, yeah, go and get pregnant in this man. One man will lodge you somewhere only for a sexual marathon. What culture, what tradition?
If it existed, it should be abolished.
It is not like that. That is, you must be pregnant. Listen, if a man wants to know if you can get pregnant, there is a simple medical procedure. They can check your tubes. They can check your womb. It is 30 minutes in the hospital will tell you whether the woman can get pregnant or not. Then why not checking the man also to see if he has swimmers or he has floaters? So it is simple. If somebody says he wants to, you must get pregnant. All you have to do is to go to the hospital, check him, see that he has swimmers, that is, he's very fertile, and check her, and they will tell you, both of you are good. So what is the marathon of?
All right. Moving on from that, any concluding thoughts? Because we have dwelt too long on that matter.
Stop forcing people into marriage because they got pregnant. It is a death sentence. You are sentencing them for life to go and swear an oath that till death do us part. Why? They just got pregnant. They did not kill. They did not steal. They would bear the punishment. Let them bear the punishment, but still protect them, not lead them. There are lots of single mothers who hold very, very important positions. But don't sentence them, don't terminate their future because of a mistake of their youth. Let us stop forcing them. You drive them out of There was a lady too that we did last year. I think I brought her. I brought her here. That the mother drove her outside. She was raped right in front of the mother's store. In front of the house there, because you drove her out. And she gave birth 4 times for her rapist. Let me end there.